Well, this is going to be a new experience. Um, so, as the title of the video suggests, this is going to be the start of some post commentary. So, first thing right here, I am using a divine battle axe. So, if you remember in Dark Souls 1, whenever you go into the tombs, is that what it is? Whenever you go into the tombs, the skeletons there will, hi Envy, will resurrect endlessly, unless you do one of two things. You kill the witch doctor or whatever the enemy was that would perpetually resurrect them, or you would have to kill them with a divine weapon. Otherwise, they'd resurrect. So in this game, they will actually only resurrect once if you kill them with a normal weapon, but if you kill them with a divine weapon, no resurrection. Not at all. So, in the last video, you might have noticed the last little clip I did. That had no commentary, no dialogue. I guess that's not really dialogue. Dialogue is two people. Monologue. I ended up hitting mute on my microphone again, probably for some like little dialogue stuff, and then left it muted for I don't even know how long. There are dozens of episodes I recorded. Maybe not dozens. I honestly don't remember for sure, but a lot. A non-insignificant amount of videos are recorded with my microphone on mute. So this is my first time doing any post commentary, and we'll see how it goes. The only problem from my standpoint is it adds another segment to the editing. So what I was trying to show right there, oh yeah, and I think even when I did that, the jars later on in this area, you gotta pay special attention to what's going on with the jars, and I was going to try to show that, but it looks like we're not there yet. Now see, I figured it'd be easier to keep track of my thoughts doing a post commentary, but I already forget what I was talking about. Yeah, it's gone. I doubt it was anything terribly important. Oh, so with my editing process, we'll say, for the most part, I just record everything that I play, and I have I'll have my microphone on and I'll record audio while I do it, and then I'll just try to edit it down so that it either gets all of the action I'm trying to capture or all of the commentary I'm trying to give. And I've tried to get a little bit better on doing both. When it goes back to normal commentary, you may notice a bit of a difference, just because this was maybe the third game I recorded a playthrough for. So I was still pretty inexperienced with conscientiously, or not, I guess more consciously, thinking about what I was saying as I'm doing it. But the problem now, even though I think I may like post commentary better, now where before I could just kind of trim the video down and not have to watch the whole final product. Now there is a final step added to each video that literally is the duration of the video. So like doing the recording here, I've got to watch this whole 46-minute, 40-second video to do the commentary for it. And for some reason, Envy is just not leaving me alone. She wants to get up on my lap so bad, she just can't stand it. So, generally in these kind of games, in the Souls games, generally I really don't like the skeleton areas or the tomb areas or anything like that. Mainly just because they feel so forced. Like there's just not a lot of identity to the areas, we'll say. And this is a little bit different, I've got to say. This actually feels like this is a tomb for this tribe of warriors, and I enjoy that. I like that touch, that little atmosphere. You know, I'm looking at the thing up top. There's a... I wonder if I could record picture-in-picture like this. I don't think I would really want to, because part of the ideal of picture-in-picture is the reaction. Doing post-commentary, I'm just sitting here in my recliner drinking a Rain Total Body Fuel, the new Monster. I guess you could call it a pre-workout. More of an energy drink, but it's got the BCAAs. Even though now looking at it, it's going to get on my nerves. It's got the BCAA aminos. Somebody needs kicked in the teeth for that. It's redundant. Redundancy is the worst. Branch chain amino acid aminos. Yeah, is that what they are? I just lost a lot of respect for this product. They're getting sued by Bang, I suppose, even though Bang sucks. Alright. Sorry. So this was another little interesting thing they started to do, or they implemented with this. So you always have the environmental hazards, like a, Indiana Jones-ish boulder coming down through, and the way they put this stair together, you can kind of, it almost looks like it's curved in, almost like a sunken in, like a hammock or a sunken in mattress. And so it lets you know something's coming. We just want to clear a path to make sure we can deal with it when it does. I probably hear it, and there we see it. So instead of it being a giant boulder or rock, you can see it's just a tangle of skeleton bodies. You see the tracking here? You see how you can actually kind of dodge it at the last second because it actually stays on a trajectory, unlike the terrible Dark Souls 2 that I just finished playing. So that boulder, or not the skeleton boulder that can be destroyed, and basically what you gotta find is one of these guys who is basic. You can almost think of him as like the anchor, kind of holding it together remotely. And once you kill him, the next time it hits a wall, it'll just be destroyed. Oh, and we can see a bonfire on the other side. I don't think I noticed that before. So this is where we got to start paying attention to the jars. If I wouldn't turn around and I'd keep going the way I'm supposed to go. But I left it in, so it must be a little bit important. Yeah, I think just going back to get some items. And so basically some of the jars up here that are, most of the time they're covered. I believe that's what you got to look for. And even with the skeletons there, you can see, yeah, there was one. Or no, that he is using like hexing urns or something like that. So any skeletons that have the white glowing in their eyes will resurrect once if you do not kill them with a divine weapon. And so on top of now those little urns being thrown, we gotta find one right there. And so a lot of the time in this area, items will kind of be tucked away behind all of these urns. And if you're not paying attention to where you're swinging or rolling, you'll just have a ton of dark magic blasting you to bits. And like right there, that one is actually sitting on top of a trap switch. Yeah, the Karthus milk ring. If I recall, I put that on here pretty soon. I think that is the ring that increases your dexterity and also obscures your rolling. Yeah. So whenever you roll, when the skeletons are rolling, and they kind of like disappear, that's basically what they've got going on there. And for the most part, I prefer to play Dark Souls games with as a higher dexterity build, generally because I use bows a lot. I kite enemies with bows, except in Dark Souls 2 where I went magic. But having the extra damage on your bows from any dex boosts is a huge asset. Any bonus damage you can get before you start going melee is a big deal. And then obviously anytime there's a trap, you can kind of and we're gonna see a lot of that in here. You can lure the enemies into it and use the environmental traps against them. Some of the stronger ones it's definitely advantageous to do, but my god, getting them to do what you want can sometimes be a hassle. He is not wanting to come around that corner. Yeah, at least get the big guy. Brilliant. So once he comes a-calling, didn't kill him, but and of course I didn't have my axe ready to go or anything, because I'm so good at these games. Have you noticed how good I am? I'm also not sure how my the volume is going to be on my audio or my commentary. So that'll be something I play with a little bit. I had started to talk previously about my thoughts on the deep, and number one, that's the primary reason I don't think they're done with the Souls series, is because right before, like, if this is supposed to be a big finale, like the third chapter of your game, you introduce a completely new concept that is the deep. And I talked about parallels in maybe the last episode or the one before that, where you've got the fire and the dark, and when the fire is manipulated, it becomes chaos, which brought about the demons and all of that kind of stuff. Well, my thought is if you manipulate the dark, it then becomes the deep, which there is so little known about what the deep is and how it's utilized and what it represents and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's a fascinating little exploration of a idea that was planted without ever actually being explicitly talked about. I should have edited this down a little bit more. I cut it pretty soon because there is a lot more to kite right down this way, and unfortunately it's some of the worst stuff. This is where we start to, maybe it's not here yet, but pretty soon we start to get into some bone wheel skeletons that just nobody likes. Although in this game they are much less devastating. For some reason I just insisted on using this trap for everything, but to be fair, I mean, these enemies, these red-eyed skeletons in particular, they're brutal. And I really wanted to get one of their curved swords, but I could never get them to drop. Maybe I got one at some point, but I don't ever think I really used it. And I think at this point I just got sick of no, I thought I took the divine axe off. But we are about to get to a point where fire becomes pivotal yet again. So right there is a really, really well done use of a pitfall or a trap. You can so there's a good misdirection. You got that item right across the chasm, but as long as you kind of pull everything and get rid of it, there's no real urgency. But if you try to run by and get it, yeah, you're going to fall right down in there. And it's not a mob, it's not a pit of acid, it's not anything stupid like another stupid Dark Souls game. But it just kind of a consequence for not taking your time and planning ahead. Not like, and probably my only complaint about Ilium Lois is when you're in some of those buildings, just how many gaps there are in the floor and how many of them are insta-kills. I've said it before, and it's just so disappointing to have games like Dark Souls 3, and Bloodborne, and then you got Dark Souls 2, which is just such a turd on so many levels. it just you can see how they have fixed problems like that in the past, and for some reason they're so prominent in Dark Souls 2. And I don't know what I was thinking right here. You can beat it. You just got to start running way sooner than I did. And we could. We will. If I remember correctly, the other reason you always want to make sure to destroy those skeleton boulders is there's always a pretty good item inside. And but destroying this one is there's a hidden stairway you got to find and a couple other things, and then this is where we find some of the bone wheel skeletons. So these guys love to get pulled. Any chance they can roll around and devastate something, they'll do it. Super weak to fire. So there's like 4 or 5 of them down there. Just pulled those, and then we got some of these guys again. These like ninja master kind of guys. But if you can get them, right in front of there, it makes life way easier. Again, these guys are tough. They are really tough. But you use the environment to your advantage, or not even to your advantage, you just use the environment, period. Night Slayer Torig. So I think he's generally one that gives players a lot of trouble, and I believe he's using the Fume Knight sword, or the Fume Knight Greatsword. I do appreciate that Dark Souls 3 didn't completely ignore 2, even though I totally would have understood if they did. And we fast forward a little bit, and he got me, and you get a gesture from him, but there he got it. The fact that like they didn't try to, because the environments in Dark Souls 2 were just terrible. I don't think he gets me again, but I tried to get him killed by the boulder, and he dodged it like 3 more times. And so at one point I just got sick of it and was like, he's got to be close enough. I don't remember what his ring does. I don't remember if I look at it. For the most part, I have my rings pretty set for the majority of the game. So one of these, maybe he's the one who will who's controlling the boulder. Yeah, this guy too. I could not get him. He just, if this is the one I remember, if this is the one I'm thinking of, he schooled me for a while. So yeah, that guy right up top, and I guess it wasn't a secret stairway, unless I did open it off camera. I don't remember. But I don't think so. But yeah, obviously he's just right up top there. And once you take him out, we got a deep gem from the boulder. I have not picked up Sekiro yet. That's one I'm gonna kind of. I've resolved to never give Activision a dime of my money. Along with EA, and it's starting to look like BioWare. And probably Rockstar as well. They're just companies that, by all accounts, seem to be really bad to their employees. And I don't know. I don't want to. For the most part, like I have never once played a Rockstar game, so it's not like I'm really taking that big of a stand. But I was kind of disappointed to see that FromSoft went with Activision to publish Sekiro. I'll tell you who I'm falling in love with, though, is Devolver Digital, and I'm going to be playing a lot of their games on the channel pretty soon. I didn't realize The Messenger came out on PS4. I thought that was a Switch exclusive. And maybe some of the DLC is and stuff like that, but I honestly didn't even really check now that I think about it. But how cool is that? The Messenger looks like an absolutely awesome game. Oh, here's the secret door. Okay. So just another way to get up there and get at him. What did I do here? Oh, I think maybe we got a lot of slimes or something. I don't recall. Oh yeah, this yeah, somehow I don't know if he clipped through the wall or if there is actually a little space there, but got a fire gem out of him, so whatever. This guy, you probably can backstab him right off the cliff, but generally speaking, what I like to do is get his attention and then just knock him back. Oh, and that didn't kill him. How about that? Which, I mean, if nothing else, just confirms that's why you don't fight him. He's way too strong. He can survive a freaking fall like that. And this... So... I give Dark Souls 2 a lot of crap for how often it just relies on mobs to throw at you. And this falls into that a little bit. It's not as bad as some of the stuff that Dark Souls 2 does to you. A lot of what Dark Souls 2 does is just plain cheap. If you don't know to do this with the bridge, it can definitely be problematic. And certainly if your timing is off as well. But ideally, you just want to get as many of them on the bridge as you can. And just send that sucker down. And from there, they can still get at you. They can go around the kind of no return or point of no return path, which is to the left right here. The left. There you go. Yeah, if you come around this way, there's a little drop off that I don't believe you can get back up. Yeah. And so you gotta have a bridge to get back over. And so you can do it a number of ways. The way I did it there was probably not the ideal solution. You can probably get a lot more of them on. And then a lot of people were missing this early on when the game first released, that you could just climb right down the broken bridge. Oh god, okay, alright. This, I had no business struggling with this as much as I did. And I recorded it funny, or something here, but you can, oh, that's right. Once I saw that that's where I was,
Horace. To my shame, I was snared by a trap and we've become separated. I've not been able to find him since. Yes, I see. Horace is a valiant knight. He can look after himself, no question. He's probably searching for me right now, with twice the resolve. If you happen upon him, please tell him that I remain in the catacombs and will lay prism stones to guide him, as always. Please send him my word, I beg of you. May the flames guide your way. If you happen upon that I remember, please send him.
Once I realized that I was that close to the boss, I had not found Henri yet. So I needed to get her little event started. She's pretty important, it turns out. She's pretty not pivotal. I wouldn't say pivotal, but to get a lot out of the Dark Souls 3 experience, you need to do her events or his events. If you play as a female character, Henri will be Andre. So, there is a mimic chest over on the other side of that room there. And the mimic and the demon will fight. And generally speaking, the mimic will destroy the demon. But not that time. He walked right into some flame breath that did a number on him. And the other thing you can do is you can kind of go around the area and get a lot of the skeleton enemies to spawn, and they will attack it. You can see they're doing a little bit of damage, but I don't even... This stupid thing killed me probably like at least 10 times. Oh, and this, yeah. So obviously I got no Estus. This was a little cheap. I think I might have taken a hit from, or I think I might have taken, I don't know, I guess not. Once I saw it clip through the floor though, it was like, yeah, I'm not trusting that. And I don't think I get it here, because I'm a stupid idiot. But right around the corner, like behind me and to the left, is a bonfire. But instead, I got cocky and he killed me right next to a bonfire. And this is the screen of embarrassment. This is shame. I don't even remember what this is. I think just rage. Probably recorded this just to have a little bit of rage. And so yeah, I think here I just kind of run around, get all the Skelly-mans to come alive, then try to lead them up to him. I mean, they go after him. They try to get him. For some reason, the Skelemen do not like the demons. And I think they still resurrect and all of that. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be looking good for us, does it? It's also a good way to farm some souls and a couple little items and all of that good stuff. I don't know why. I don't know why he wrecked me so much through this. And so I guess I gave up. Maybe I killed him. I don't remember. But for some reason, I abandoned that and came back to Firelink. And finally took out the Master. And you still can't get in from this side. But at this point, I had... oh, you know what? I think I remember. Maybe. I think I might have just run out of memory when I was fighting the Chaos Demon, and so it just like either didn't record or stopped recording or something like that. Because there were a lot. There were a lot of attempts on that stupid thing. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. And so what I'm going through here is one of the three optional things to do. You don't have to go this way, and I held off on doing it so long because I wanted to wait until a certain scummy someone was close by. Look at that view. Dark Souls 2 sucked so much. And so we got a little elevator here. A little shiny. Which I want to say is just some attire. It's not even anything we could use. And then, like, even as you hear the gears grinding and everything else, that noise we just heard is definitively something else. And we saw the gate is shut.
Sorry, friend. Be more careful. By the gods, curiosity is gonna kill you kittens. Some places are better left alone, you know. Oh, sorry. Am I a tad too late? no fear. There's beauty in death. Besides, you're surrounded by ladies. Every man's dream, right? Oh, no matter. I'll look after things. By stripping every last trinket off your corpse, you're gonna make some lucky customer very happy. Oh.
So Patches is... He's something. He's been a recurring character ever since Demon Souls. And now that I think about it, I don't recall him being in Dark Souls 2. I don't think I missed him in my playthrough. I just don't think he was in it. There was somebody that we got his gesture from that I cannot remember. There's no major betrayer, is there? Man, I can't think at all. But, so, like, that tower was completely locked up. That tower was locked up from both sides. And he made the comment that we're surrounded by ladies, every man's dream. And we're about to see specifically what he meant by that. And there's not a whole heck of a lot over here. Is this a ring? Oh no, that's the Firekeeper's soul. So major callback to Dark Souls 1. And let me see, am I going to be able to read this? Soul of a Firekeeper who returned from the abyss. This Firekeeper preserves the bonfire and serves as its champion. She is said to have soothed and accepted the dark sigil, which has tainted her soul. And yet her soul will one day embed itself in the bosom of another Firekeeper. So, whereas in the previous... In Dark Souls 1, you had multiple Firekeepers. Anywhere there was a bonfire, there was a Firekeeper. Maybe not anywhere, but the main bonfires. Here, we only have one Firekeeper. In Dark Souls 2, the women in red, the three that you meet at the beginning, and the other one in the cutscene, it's alluded to that they were Firekeepers, but Dark Souls 2 doesn't know what it's doing, so who cares? This is a tricky bit of platforming. You can't really see that well where you're going down. I don't think we've been able to pick up a cat ring to mitigate fall damage, so it's very easy, especially that shiny we saw when we first went in. Trying to get that, you got to make a jump. It's got to be perfect. Not worth it. Just not worth it. And I don't quite remember what I'm waiting on. Oh no, I was just... So right there, you can see all of those bodies. Those are the previous Firekeepers. And their corpses have... This is their tomb.
Ah, okay. You're alive.
And Patches didn't expect us to make it out.
Hold your horses. Let's have a nice talk about this. I'll come clean. I did you wrong. I didn't mean it though. Not one bit. You get these urges, running the business and all, and I hate myself for it. I do. You know what I mean. Terrible, really. But I can see you'll forgive me. You're alive, after all. And that's what counts, right? Oh, for heaven's sake, no need to jest with a face like that. You're still alive, and I'm here grovelling in the dirt, so to speak. Oh, I know. Here A token of my sincerity. Right and proper, huh?
I don't know why it keeps cutting
There's
off.
a couple of outcasts. Let's make the best of it.
His audio keeps cutting off at the very end. So he knows something. He knows something about this place. He knows a lot more than he's letting on. And on top of that, every time he makes an appearance, he kicks you down the hole to...
The slinking rodent. But he did me a good turn back in Lothric Dungeon. Doubtless I should do something about that little dead. Well, maybe not. Well, I can hardly believe he's still...
Yeah, I don't know why it keeps clipping, or the audio keeps cutting off. But yeah, he wants to get the items off of your corpse, even though you're undead, and he knows the curse, and I don't know. Some Patches is a big deal. Something's about him. But we are now coming to the end of our first episode with post commentary, and if I mess this up and hit the wrong button, I will destroy myself. So that's going to take us to the end, and with that, I think I'll just see you next time.